Well, alright then. Welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. I'm Hupfen, and we have been having a little bit of a gas problem here lately, and not in the funny farting around kind of way. I actually don't think we have any duplicants that have a tendency to fart, which, yes, that's a thing. But also a thing, this fertilizer maker was giving off natural gas that I didn't really plan for. And that started to become a problem. You can still see some of the natural gas kind of floating around our base. We don't really want that to be a thing. So we've got actually a little bit of crew working to build part of our solution to this problem. Unfortunately, doing this is going to let this natural gas seep out, which is, I think, textbook irony? I'm not sure. It's... I don't know, is it dramatic? There's like a bunch of types of irony, and it might apply to like one or two of them, but like certainly not all of them. I wouldn't say it's even like narrative irony, because like most kinds of irony, you have to have someone talking for it to really qualify, but like these duplicants don't talk, they just kind of grumble and make sounds. Good job, Bluebell. Your skills have increased. So we're just kind of working through this whole situation. But doing so is actually going to... Well, one, we're going to have to mop that up when we get there. But that will actually bring us up over to here. So this actually has plenty of oxygen. It's going to be a little dirty, considering all the slime and stuff. But, you know, it's not the worst thing. We should actually build more storage units, because we're starting to fill up. To get those taken care of. We have this algae terrarium that will get built when it gets built, and will help clean up our air a little bit. I want to build our cot for our next duplicant. We'll leave that to be that. Now we could also keep working up in this direction a bit more. This water being here, it's a little too much to mop. So if we do approach this, we'll have to figure out how to handle that. But we can also start working our way down. So we've got polluted ice, we've got, you know, this chlorine gas that we really need to be cautious of, but, you know, there's these pinch up pepper plants. There's bleach stone is going to be good for sanitation purposes. So we're going to want that at some point. So we're going to actually just start digging in this direction. That sand is going to fall down and be obnoxious. Let's actually cancel those for the time being. And en route, we'll put an airlock. We'll put it here. Then put a tile. Little ladder. And we'll have more, like, farming stuff going on up here. Because we want to expand this farm. We want to be growing as much of our food as we can. That way we're not eating dirt, which is terrible. Even though we're going to make a bunch of mush bars. That one is set to go continuously. Let's sweep all this stuff up. We have to kind of be vigilant about our sweeping, really. You know, they don't do it automatically, so we have to constantly remind our duplicants that, hey, clean up after yourselves, you know? The mystery of this water is just... I may never figure out why it's there. But it is, and I guess that's okay, ultimately. It's not the worst thing in the world, certainly. Yeah, we're just starting to actually come up here to gather water. It's kind of interesting. Not the biggest surprise, I wouldn't say, but certainly a little interesting. Now, as we get over here, this is going to suck, because this is all chlorine gas. You can't breathe chlorine gas. I recommend not trying that. So for our duplicants, that's going to be pretty uncomfortable. And we don't really want it to leak into our base, hence the airlock, naturally. But the chlorine exists because of the bleach stone. This apparently gives off chlorine gas. So when we get rid of that, we might be able to start dissipating the chlorine. But chlorine doesn't really have a use. We can't do something with it. We can do something with natural gas. We actually are going to need more just straight up oxygen generation at some point. Let's prioritize this a little more. Make sure that we're getting that done. So we really don't want the barracks to be unbreathable. Like that would be a problem. I thought this would be reachable, but oh well. We'll just cancel that then. You'll have to live with sandstone above your heads. Just deal. Actually, let's prioritize these slightly more. Not a ton, but like, actually we should reprioritize that back to 5. And we'll set the rest of this build job to 7. Because we need to get this happening in order to be comfortable turning the fertilizer maker back on. And we want the fertilizer maker for our farm. We're getting like a little stifled. You know, air is not terrible, but a little bit of a problem. Air down here is awful. You know, you have to hold your breath to maintain the coal generator. But, you know, it's a coal generator. That's, like, what else are you going to expect? No research task selected because there's no more research to do. So we are going to deconstruct that station and we're done on research. Cycle 28, we're done. There is nothing else to learn. So we're going to start figuring out things to put in place of those buildings. And, well, we may want to put oxygen stuff in there, quite honestly. But we'll see. The electrolyzer will produce oxygen, but also hydrogen. So we don't want that yet. That, I think, when we start getting down into like more water-rich areas, which I'm feeling like the cold area, that might be a good position, like good amounts of polluted ice that could be warmed up and turned into water. There's a bit of meat for some reason. I don't want to know the situation that led to that, quite honestly. But when we get down to an area where we have a good supply of water, just in general, then we can start using that, producing a lot more oxygen, piping the hydrogen into a chamber with a hydrogen generator. So now we're turning water into air and power. That's nice and efficient, and we're going to need all of the little efficiency tricks we can muster. Because, you know, we only have so many resources. We only have what exists in this asteroid. I really hope you can use dirty water for it, because, you know, we got that in spades. Which is strange that we even have spades. I would imagine they would. You know, like with all the farming and stuff going on, you would have basic tools like that, unless these little guns are literally everything. That just do everything. No seed selected. Empty pipe. Of course, the pipe is empty. Not the end of the world. Let's put some mealwood seeds in. And actually plant them. Why can't we plant it? Probably because, you know, yeah, they're entombed. Can't really do a whole lot here. unless they start digging. So cancel those commands, and then really important, those commands. Like, dig this up. Don't uproot that though. We don't want, there's no reason to uproot that. So we can plant some mealwood here. And we're gonna follow a similar pattern, because we have 9 mealwood, 1 blossom seed, mealwood, plant. That is planted. Mealwood, plant. And sweep. Sweep everything. Sweep everything forever. This actually got us muckroot. So, hooray! That'll be good for future prospects. Now, this, I think, is our highest priority job at the moment. So doing that, and the farm stuff will turn priority down a little bit. It's still important and all, but not top priority. Still isn't really anything we can make here. We can do mush fries, which will reduce how many calories come out of a given bar, but reduces the quality debuff, removes disease potential entirely. So let's queue up a couple of those. Because why not? You know, we have the ability to make our food slightly better, we should do that. And of course these are all awaiting irrigation because we haven't finished the piping. But hopefully folks are working on that. Some fertilizer. That's good. In fact, we should pick a spot somewhere nearby and put in a few storage containers for fertilizer. We're starting to make these harvestable. You know, we got meal lice. That is actually moving on the mealwood. Previously I've tried not to pay too much attention to what's going on in the concerns that it might be kind of creepy. I think my concerns are founded at this point. Just saying, like, stuff's weird. So they can actually start storing things in there now. Easy to forget to do that. That's just kind of pumping along. This hatch, like, just let it go at this point. It's whatever. The generator is probably going to stop running. We have enough battery that should last us the night. This will definitely last us the night. Could use a little more sand. This, we don't have the slime for it. Which is surprising because there's a lot of slime around. You know, we could even, just to like further refine our layout a little bit, build those. That won't give us any slime. We'll just, you know, have those tile there. This job will, well, actually no, this doesn't hit any slime. It hits algae, like a tiny bit of slime. But you know what? If this isn't running, that's okay at the end of the day. Not the best situation, but it's okay. Also not a good situation is our farm, or our decor. Our farm is okay. Our decor is kind of rubbish. So what can we do about that? Well, we can build a couple these. I don't know how much bristlebriar we have available. 1. That's not much. It's something, but it's not much. It's a little stifled and a little toasty. We'll have to figure out how exactly we want to handle that. I keep getting... No. I keep getting notifications, like, of people on Steam doing things, and they pop up exactly where all these controls are. So like, oh wait, what was the hotkey? And I never remember it. So I'm just like stuck momentarily. You're making my colony inefficient, people playing video games. I'm profoundly offended. I'm not profoundly offended, naturally. More just natural offended levels. So 1.4 cycles until our next duplicant. We got plenty of time. No need to really think about that. The fact that folks aren't, like, coming up here and doing the thing, like, this can be this normal priority right now. Because we don't need much algae, all told. 900 kilograms, that's okay. Although, that said, we are using a fair amount overall. So we'll want to do a little bit of a digging expedition up in here in the not-too-distant future. But first we have to build this stuff, and it's unreachable. That was the problem. Why are people not doing things? Because they can't. This is going to go horrifically wrong. I can see it already. Because that's coal. So, we're going to deal with a momentary flood. That's going to suck. We're going to have to mop things up. But it wouldn't be the first time. And do we do a mopping job? No, that's been taken care of. Although in a certain irony, this should flood down like this way, right into our reservoir, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. And actually, if they build this tile first, I'm going to set this one to 9, like build this one before all the other ones. If you can do it, and they can do it. So, we have staved off a flood by pushing it over there slightly. So building lacks resources. Yeah, we don't have excuse me, we don't have any slime. But we're gonna say that's okay for right now. We'll just disable this building. We have this whole distillery, and we're like barely using it. It's just kind of sitting here. We're getting plenty of resources from this little mining job. Pump is pumping. This does not have seed. Oh, that sound was the sound of someone eating a poo. Good to know. Good to know. Do we want to build more lavatory facilities? Actually, yes. I think we do. And the reason that we do is, one, it's not going to be much of a hassle. Like, setting that up, setting our plumbing up. Do we need we don't really even need insulated piping. Not that, how do we even see, it's like ambient temperature, I guess. And yeah, the ambient temperature isn't all that bad. Yeah, it's fine. So no need to worry about pipe insulation. But we'll build this lavatory and a second shower. And this way, more people can get clean. We can stop using the outhouse. Because this involves a lot more work. It involves this compost, which is giving off heat. It gives us fertilizer, which is good. So we don't want to get rid of it entirely. But we would rather, people use more modern facilities. We have lavatories. It's the 21st century. I don't know what century is supposed to be here, but we're still going to use that as our excuse. modernish. You know, close enough. So does this air pump have... It has wiring queued up, ready to roll. And that should be built already, or nearly so. The electric wire construction is unreachable, unfortunately. So, we'll work around that. Maybe deconstruct one of the tiles, force them to build it. You know, all that stuff. Got 100k of slime. We'll leave it disabled for a little while longer. Because we don't need the algae, necessarily. It would be nice to have, but we don't need it. So, yeah, you're in a little bit of, like, uncomfortable conditions, all told. But it'll get better. It will get better. This oxygen is pretty bad, but, you know, it'll get better. And overall, our oxygen is pretty good. You know, high concentrations. We're feeling all right. Wrong irrigation. What? Fertilizer. This is clean water. Does it want dirty water or something? Like... It requires polluted water. Oh! Interesting. But this requires clean water. So we're gonna uproot this. Sweep that. And, going to work on doing a little bit of deconstruction here. So we're gonna deconstruct this. And, how do we want to handle this? Because we can just pipe down from, you know, the bathroom, and maybe that'll be enough water. Yeah, let's see what happens. Deconstruct that, and then that's gone already. So, good work, team. Build that. And that. I don't know what's going to happen to the water that's already in there. We'll have to wait and see. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so let's make this mop top priority. It's dripping probably dirty water, realistically. If it's coming from up here, it's probably dirty. This does not have a filter selected yet. Filter out the natural gas. And it's going to need a bit of wire. So that should work. This has no gas output. Because the pipe isn't built. Construction is pending, it's not unreachable. So that's fine. Yeah, sorry everybody, go mop it up. Yeah, it's the things we must do in this colony. Then we do more sweep jobs. There's no more mop jobs there. I would say that sounds dirtier than it is, but that actually just sounds kind of dirty. Like, oh, we have to go mop stuff up. You know, it's not fun. So let's see. We've got a good med bay. It's not the best, but you know, we only have one massage table, but our stress is still pretty low. Bigwig is bigwig at this point. We're not going to get too far into that. Now we have so far missed out on assigning enough mess tables. Been kind of bad at that. But one thing we can do, high priority, pneumatic door, trap this hatch. And then once that's built, we got rid of a tile up here, I guess? I don't know. Once this pneumatic door is built, we can remove this one, remove this mess table, set up a little ladder, have a second tier to our mess hall. Ta-da! So we can options all, then deconstruct those. And our food supply is still quite good. It's a lot of loose meal ice right now, so we should actually set jobs for making lice loaf, make a couple more mush fries. We don't want pickled meal lice, that's just horrifying. There's no power there because we broke the electrical wire. Good job, bunny. So we do that, deconstruct that, sweep up that. A lot of little maintenance tasks. You know, it turns out this is a bit busy of a thing. You know, maintaining a whole colony. Let's put another fridge. There we go. Another fridge right here. With some electrical wire. I'm a little surprised that gold amalgam is lower decor. Like it's fancier. You know, it's I wouldn't say it's classy. It's fancier, for sure. So actually we're going to deconstruct that. Empty storage. Empty storage. Hopefully by empty storage it means just get rid of the water and not like the plant. Yeah, it's doing what we'd expect. And these are now pointed to with dirty water. So actually what we emptied might have been dirty water. Oops. These things happen. So yeah, sweep all that up. I think someone teleported over here? I don't know. Let's see. This is existing now. It's not pumping out much natural gas from the looks of it. Let's see. Gas, yeah. Doesn't have much to deal with. This is just like carbon dioxide and all that. But that's to be expected when this is disabled. So let's re-enable it. And we've got a little bit of slime now, so let's re-enable this. I don't believe the biodistiller gives off natural gas, but if it does, we're prepared. So let's see, things we can do like in the immediate future now is they include coming up here. There's polluted water, sort of whatever. Let's mop this up, because that happened. Maybe because we destroyed, oh, wrong irrigation. What happens if we deconstruct this one? Because I'm pretty sure this happened because we deconstructed this and it was full of water. So if we deconstruct this one, will it all just like plumb out here? We're about to find out. It doesn't really look like it. So that's something that we'll have to solve in the not too distant future. If we're going to have a farm that's, you know, at all functional, we kind of want that. But we also want a new duplicant. So we have Stinky. We have a fellow named Stinky. Who's really good at digging and can't cook. And has what feels like a high decor expectation, but of this set, that's of the lowest. It's not the lowest, but it's in that range. And then we have Nails. It's an iron gut, so won't get sick. Can't research. That's wonderful. That's nice, because we don't have any more research to do. And then we have Marie, nice and buff, can't cook. But a higher decor expectation, so we're going to go with Nails. And, you get to be Threer. You get to be, you know, the little kid from the very end. I think that's, what was it, Fiverr's kid? I think it was. Who knows? We may be, getting slightly ahead of ourselves in terms of chronology, but, you know, it is what it is. And we're gonna go assign a couple of these, the ones that we can at least. And we'll call it a day there. So hopefully our next episode will actually clean up this whole irrigation situation and have a nice hydroponic farm that's, you know, working nicely. So we have that to look forward to. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, a like would be appreciated. Subscribe doubly so. But either way, ta-ta for now.